Seems like certain people, it just grabs you and it won't let you go. It's kind of how logging is. I'm a good quitter. I think I've quit logging 2 or 3 times and keep uh, keep keep going back. Like the smell of the bush in the morning. I am Jordie Wiens from Westlake Contracting, and I'm a Axis badass logger running micro harvesting equipment and proud of it. We work all over the province, doing fire hazard abatement and commercial thinning, logging small parcels for private landowners. We're doing a job coming up here in western BC for a wealthy hunter that wants his property all laid out properly for elk hunting. So we're going to be doing trails and food plots and some habitat around the lake. Basically, yeah, it's all hourly just for him to come up and hunt for a couple of weeks out of the year. Bought my first logging truck when I was 22, 23, and it was just a proprietorship, J. Wiens Enterprises. A number of years after that, I had 3 trucks, I guess, and my accountant told me I should form a corporation for tax purposes. So I did that, and it was just a numbered company. Everyone names their company after a mountain or a creek or a river or something, and we were living in Mud River in Prince George and didn't really want to call it Mud River Contracting, and Westlake was just across the highway and it was a nice lake, so Westlake it was. When I moved to Kamloops here, I partnered up with my supervisor and we formed Terra Timber. Recently, when I got into this niche that I've got into is when I started working directly with Wayne. I went to Europe to look at the little forwarders that I am running and selling, and I needed a harvesting head to put on a carrier to work together with the forwarder. And I went to Almia Wood, which is their forestry show in Sweden. And there was 3 heads that I was interested in, 3 brands, Kesla and 2 others. And after seeing them work there and really doing my homework, I decided that Kesla was my preference. So I grabbed the trusty iPhone and I Googled North American Kesla dealers, and Axis Forestry came up, which is 45 minutes from my house, which is crazy. And I'd known Wayne over the years. When I logged for West Fraser, my processing contractor used Axis quite heavily. So it was just a perfect fit. So I phoned him and I told him what I wanted to do, and he was right excited because I believe this harvesting head, which I bought off Axis, is the first one in North America, this 16RH. So he was excited to work with me on it because it's something new for me and an opportunity for him to grow the business. And so he gave me an all-in price for the head mounted on the carrier. And to this day, they're still supporting us. They're going above and beyond. We have a bit of a niche with the thinning. It's new. Back in the 80s, Sweden had pretty well cleaned their timber supply right up. Today, over 75% of the country is forested. I went over there and I said to myself, am I the first Canadian to ever go over here and see how they're doing things? Because it just made so much sense. You know, you take 100 acres, you plant it, you let it grow to 100 years old, you cut it, clear cut it, and plant it again, versus the thinning program that they have. They'll get 35 to 40% more recovery in the same cycle. That parcel of land only gets so much sun in a day. It only has so many nutrients in the ground and only has so much water. So whether you have 1,000 trees on it or 10,000 trees on it, the growth rate is the same, right? So what happens is if you don't thin, it starves itself out. It's fighting, everything's fighting, and your growth rate is actually less than if you thin it out and allow the trees to grow. it's coming. It has to come. So, and I'm excited to be part of it. So. But we also have an additional niche in that we're very mobile. So I have the Linkbelt 75, which is an 8-ton zero tail swing machine with the Kesla 16RH head, which will cut up to a 14-inch tree. And then I have the mini forwarder and a D3 cat. And I haul everything on the back of a gooseneck trailer behind a Ford F-350 dually pickup. So no job is too small. We can go somewhere and do 2 loads, whereas the cost of mobilization and demobilization on the bigger equipment is it's cost prohibitive. From what my operator tells me and from what I hear from other people in the industry, the Cypress controller, the software, and the way everything is put together, it's easier for the operator to calibrate. It's just so user friendly and simple to troubleshoot, to diagnose. When Axis has an update for us, we have an app on our phone. They actually send the download to our iPhone, and we Bluetooth sync it to the system, and half hour later the download is in the machine, and we're going to work. So huge benefits that way.
Do you have an operator up in Prince George that uses it?
I do, yes. He's done it for a very long time, and Axis put him through a very short training course, which basically was about 2 or 3 YouTube videos. And away he went, and he just absolutely loves the system. He said that there's nothing easier or more user friendly.
So I heard you fly airplanes in your spare time.
I've owned quite a few airplanes over the years. I buy them and think I'm never going to sell them, and then someone offers me too much money, so I sell them. The one I just sold was a Cessna 185, and I now have a bush plane just for fooling around locally, bouncing off of gravel bars, and water ski it down the lake, and land on mountaintops and scare the living daylights out of people. So.